Hello, welcome to the airZone.tv Air Sports Podcast, which will be about the air race news this time and has the subtitle, Still Many Butts. You can watch the podcast on the airZone.tv YouTube channel and other networks, so don't forget to subscribe. Precisely on February 24th, 2021, the news of the planned renewal of the World Air Race Championship Series began to spread again to the world of air sports. The World Championship Air Race organizers announced they have concluded a partnership agreement with the International Aviation Federation, which gives the whole series a kind of official status. According to the organizers, 8 races should occur in 2022, the first of which in the first quarter. From our point of view, many big butts are hovering over the project. Since the end of February this year, the organizers of the World Championship Air Race have become very active on social networks. The main topic in March is the announcement of the names of the advisory board of the World Championship Air Race. However, the organizers have not published any official press release, and the web of the series is still silent about the advisors. It is also necessary to add that the profiles on social networks were established as late as February. Therefore, we sent questions to the organizers. What is the task of the advisory board? According to the company's website, the external agency, Roco Communications, takes care of communication with the media, a 4-member team with branches in Hong Kong and Singapore, led by Ross Collette. Although there is no word about air race on the agency's website yet, we received the answer relatively quickly, which is a pretty good signal. Ross Collette's response was, "We are fortunate to have secured the services of some of the legends of air racing to sit on World Championship Air Race's advisory board. Their unrivaled experience and knowledge of aviation and air racing will help guide all aspects of World Championship Air Racing's development, including, but in no way limited to, rules, competition, competing teams, and live broadcast." We also asked if the organizers have cooperated with the advisory board contractually. However, the answer was very elusive to our taste. World Championship Air Race's contractual arrangement with all parties involved in the series remains strictly confidential. This extends to the advisory board. An answer yes or no would be enough for us. But let us introduce the advisory board announced on social networks. Paul Bonham, 3-time winner of Red Bull Air Race Series, winner of 19 sub-races. After his competitive career was finished, this British pilot acted as a studio expert, commentating on live broadcasts, and did very well. During the races, he also shot attractive, from the pilot's point of view, track explanations.
Diving down now, descending over the River Danube to go under the chain bridge. There's a lot to do here. Speed to monitor, gates to watch, bridges to miss. First thing successful, gate 1, smoothly round, gate 2, single pylon section here. This is quite busy.
Nigel Lamb, another very experienced British, the winner of the Red Bull Air Race 2014 series. He acted in the Red Bull Air Race from 2005 to 2016 and flew 76 races. Nigel Lamb also won the British Unlimited Acrobatics Championship 8 times in a row. Steve Jones, another British pilot. Steve Jones was at the very beginning of the Red Bull Air Race and took part in 42 races. He then joined the organizing team, where he worked as one of the 2 directors of the race and the head of preparation and training of pilots. When talking about training, the Red Bull Air Race had a good tradition that pilots had to go through 1 or more challenging training camps before being selected for the Master or Challenger category. We asked the organizers if any similar centers are being prepared for World Championship Air Racing. Here's the answer. All teams will be required to participate in an extensive test and evaluation process prior to Season 1. That will be a closed event that is not open to the public or members of the media, Ross Collette replied. Jim Reed is an extremely experienced and highly regarded aeronautical engineer and mechanic who has also served as the Red Bull Air Race Technician Director. He was responsible for implementing technical standards and monitoring compliance with competition teams. He should also advise the World Championship Air Race organizers on the techniques. Air race fans know Jim DeMatteo, primarily as the flight director of the Red Bull Air Race. Through his mouth, the magical words sounded on the radio connection into the pilot's headphones and into the speakers of the television screens.
Number 18 Kopstein cleared into the track, smoke on.
He was also in charge of planning and traffic safety. Kirsty Murphy, former Royal Air Force pilot and the only adept at being included in the RAF Red Arrows display team, member of the Blades aerobatic team.
I'm Kirsty Murphy. I fly Blade 2 this year.
In the World Championship Air Race team, she should communicate with young people and programs that can attract young people to aviation. Kirsty is also a member of the management of the series. For us, it is a bit non-standard that she is also the wife of one of the potential competition pilots, Ben Murphy. So, will it be a family business?
Number 24 Murphy, 58.957 seconds, includes a 1 second penalty for over G, 11.40.
We paid attention to the advisors, but it is also necessary to mention the head of the whole project. That is the World Championship Air Race Director, Willy Cruickshank. The former military pilot flew fighters in the RAF for 26 years. After retiring, he was a member of the Wildcat Aerobatics Group for 9 years. Afterwards, he became the flight director of the Red Bull Air Race. The shadow of his career is his alcoholic incident in October 2018, when he was arrested in Indianapolis after the Red Bull Air Race on Monday at 3:30 in the morning and imprisoned after riots in one of the bars in the city center. After this incident, Willy was even dismissed from the Red Bull Air Race. Publishing several videos edited from freely available footage of the Red Bull Air Race, announcing cooperation with the FAI, or announcing the names of an advisory board. Again, using freely available photos of the Red Bull Air Race is an excellent thing. But if we want to be evil, we will say that all this can be done in peace, in the warmth of the desk and the computer keyboard. It will be possible to take the whole series seriously only when the competition pilots' names and the complete calendar of events are known. Of course, we also asked the organizers about this. World Championship Air Race has received applications from more than 25 teams to participate in Season 1. The advisory board has shortlisted 12 teams to compete in Season 1 and is currently going through the necessary due diligence and contractual requirements with the teams concerned. An announcement will be made once that process is complete, was Ross Collette's answer to airzone.tv's question. As for the locations where the 8 races promised for 2022 should occur, it would be advisable to announce them as soon as possible. After all, the lack of suitable locations for the races and their late announcement in 2019 was one reason for the departure of the general sponsor, Red Bull, from the Red Bull Air Race Series. At that time, the organizers promised the first 10 races, then 8, to finally organize only 4. Unfortunately, Ross Collette's answer is in a similar spirit and all too vague. We are yet to finalize agreements with any host cities. While COVID-19 has certainly complicated matters, we are in talks with over 20 cities around the world that have expressed a keen interest to stage a World Championship Air Race event. Conversations with host cities will remain confidential, but an announcement with dates and locations will follow later in the year. World Championship Air Race organizers also announced that they agreed with a live broadcast with London-based Aurora Media worldwide. We also sent a few questions to this agency a few days ago. We asked what the broadcast will look like, what technologies will be used, and whether they accounted for the popular effect of aircraft ghosts. But no one answered us until the publication of this podcast. It is no secret that at least 2 other groups are interested in organizing a series of air races. One of them is a so-called Arab group, an inconspicuous group of Arab oil magnates who want to organize a smaller series of races in the current format, the first of them even in the second half of this year. There is not much talk about this group. Still, they definitely have the financial resources for the organization, and they are already developing specific activities. And we cannot forget Jeff Zaltman and his projects Air Race 1 and Air Race E. Air Race 1 are single-engine aircraft races. They are defined with a mass start and mutual aircraft battles directly on the track, as we know it from Formula 1. Jeff has managed to organize 7 races of this series, 3 of them in 2015, and this year there should also be 1 race on October 31st in San Angel, Texas. In April 2018, Jeff Zaltman came up with another new concept, the Air Race E. Again, Formula 1 racing, but with electric planes. Jeff was able to inspire interesting partners in the project, led by Airbus. The first electric competition machines have already appeared on the scene, one developed by a team from the British University in Nottingham, and the other developed by Dutch engineers. The first races were supposed to be in 2020. It is a question of how much the whole project affected the COVID and what priorities it is now given to it by the general partner Airbus, which currently has other concerns. The funny thing is, exactly on the day the World Championship Air Race organizers announced the principle of their series, they also mentioned future electric categories, including VTOL aircraft, for example some drones with a human crew. Jeff Zaltman announced the expansion of Air Race E by the same category. We will see if the event organizers will find any synergy or if they go against each other. On our question about how World Championship Air Race organizers perceive competing projects, Ross Collette said, "It wouldn't be appropriate for us to comment on anybody else's event. However, we welcome any other events that help to promote air sports and aviation in general." One thing is clear in an air race. Money is in the first place, and without it, no one will be able to organize a series of air race type races. The budget for one Red Bull air race season was around 80 million euros. We dare to estimate that the World Championship air race organizers do not have this money yet. It could certainly be debated over the claim that the host cities are very interested in events of a similar type. No one today can estimate what anti-pandemic measures will apply and how long they will be implemented. But events for tens of thousands of spectators will certainly not be a priority for big cities for a long time to come. Last but not least, it is necessary to mention the ecological aspects. Strict emission and noise limits are beginning to be introduced in many countries, in the centers of large cities especially. Let us remember the year 2019, when it was impossible to organize a race in the mecca of air races in Budapest. There were also significant problems with the organization of a replacement race at Lake Balaton. Ecology played an essential role at that time. We would be very reluctant for this article and podcast to sound negative. We are huge fans of the air race, and we would be very happy for the stable global series to return. We really miss the atmosphere and the opportunity to inform you about what is happening on the spot.
Druhý volný trénink čeká také masterclass, ale až někdy kolem 16. hodiny.
Čau, Petr, čau.
But for the series to return, the organizers must resolve the few buts very soon. At the latest, during the summer holidays, we would like to know the names of specific pilots who will fly the series. At the latest in the autumn, we should see the calendar and venues of most upcoming races for 2022. airZone.tv will be watching the action, and we will definitely let you know when there is something interesting. Thank you for making time for the news from the world of air race by airZone.tv. If you have any questions, news, or sources of information, write them to us in the comments below the article or video. Of course, we will be happy if you let us know that you are interested in this topic by liking it. You can even recommend us to your friends and acquaintances. And if you like the production of airZone.tv and would like to support it, you can support airZone.tv regularly on the patreon.com portal. We look forward to seeing you at the latest airZone.tv news and interviews.